Another topic that we want to talk about are, Jews of color. Some people assume that all Jews of color are converts, and there's actually a lot of Jews of color who are born Jewish.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. We are House of Lave. We're so pumped to be able to chit chat with you guys today. Babe, what we talking about?
We are back for part two.
Part two
of some of the challenges that you face when going through an Orthodox conversion.
I told you we was coming back. We got the good stuff on this one. Like the last one was good. Right? We had a good time. Talked about some good stuff. But this is the one we're going to talk about, like the good stuff. The good stuff, okay?
The first stuff was good.
It was good. I'm not trying to like...
It's just a part two. This is just an add-on. This is part two.
It's the add-on. Right, we get a little deep on this one. So we're talking about some challenges that we've personally experienced while going through our Orthodox conversion. And yes, we are still going through our conversion. We have not crossed that finish line yet. We haven't gone into the mikvah. We don't have a date yet. We have no idea at all. We do have another meeting with the Beit Din in a handful of months, and so we will see. But other than that, we're just going strong. We're learning, growing, doing what we do.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we want to talk about, and a lot of people ask us in the comments, and even when we meet people personally, they want to know if we've experienced any racism or anything along those lines. So
yeah. And so for us personally, we actually have not. We have not faced any racism or anybody that's been, mean or treated us any differently because of our color. We have not, and we're very thankful. We're grateful for that. I know that might not be the situation for every single person, unfortunately. But, for us, we've only, been shown nothing but love, respect, very welcomed, especially our community. And our community has just shown us a great deal of just love, respect, and very welcoming.
yeah.
So another topic that we want to talk about are, Jews of color. Some people assume that all Jews of color are converts. And there's actually a lot of Jews of color who are born Jewish, right?
That's right.
And so I think, it is important and mindful to not always assume that if somebody is, a Jew of color, that they automatically were a convert, or maybe their family converted, because there's been history of just a born Jew. And we've even heard some stories of people who are still, from this very day, they go through some of those challenges of being asked, oh, are you a convert, or did you convert to Judaism because of them being a Jew of color? So I think that's sometimes a challenge that somebody could face. We haven't personally, really faced that because we publicize our journey of converting. So people already know, like, we're converting. So it's not really like this secret thing of like, were you a born Jew, or, so, but we say that because that can be a challenge that, some people can come up with and just assume that every single Jew of color was, a convert.
So if you are a person of color that's going through a conversion process right now, you have to prepare to deal with some of those things, and I say that because you may get presented with a situation like that from beautiful, beautiful people who are totally innocent, and they have no ill intentions on trying to harm you or things like that, right? But people can ask just out of curiosity, because there are people who have never seen a Jew of color before in person.
That's true.
Right? So you may run into people who are just genuinely blown away by the fact that they're meeting somebody of color, and they are super just interested, they're intrigued about your story. And so that's a lot of times our come from when people maybe assume that we're converting, or maybe we have that conversation and they end up asking, are we going through a process? And so we try our best to have maturity around it, and we don't take it personal, and we hear the person out and we see their heart. And once we see their heart, and I'm like, okay, this is totally cool, and it's nothing there, and we just go on from there.
It's not an intentional, I'm being rude or harmful thing. I think it's just more out of curiosity because they haven't seen so many.
Yeah.
So
All right, so I got one for the fellas. So another thing that is tough for me at times is not counting toward a minyan. So basically, a minyan is a group of 10 men praying together at shul or at synagogue. And so, in order for certain parts of the prayer service to be said, you need a group of 10 men. There are times where I'm there, I'm like the 10th guy, but I'm not a Jew.
yeah.
And so, in order for that minyan to be complete, it needs to be 10 Jewish men. And so there have been times where it'll hit me hard, because I'm like, I'm here. I'm here and I don't count. So I've actually been praying a lot about that too. I've been starting to feel a lot better, because now instead of me saying like, I don't count, I know that God is like, no, you count to me. You matter to me. So I've come to this place of peace with it now, because I know that even if I don't count physically, I'm not a part of the actual 10 men, I know that God sees me. And so that simple fact has really, really helped me out a great deal.
And I think that's such a beautiful way to look at it like that. And also to know that, that's not going to always be the case. Like, that's just temporary, right? Through this process of you waiting. And I think, if anything, it can humble you more and kind of let you sit back and be even more grateful for what you are getting ready to come into.
Yeah.
And to be able to count in a minyan and to understand the value of that. You can literally take that and go, this is something I treasured so much that I couldn't do. You take that and you make sure that you have that same desire when you are Jewish, because I know that's one thing that he's going to really treasure and not take lightly, is that he's going to count as a minyan, right? And it's important that he shows up.
Yeah, for sure. And that kind of ties into with saying the blessings over food, and me wearing these thingies here, right? So these are called tzitzit, and before you put them on, there's blessings that you say, and right. And so me not being a Jewish man yet, I technically I don't have to wear these, right? I'm not obligated to wear these. But once I'm Jewish, then I'm obligated to wear these. And sometimes you can get into a place where you're like, well, I'm not Jewish yet, I ain't got to put these on, right? I don't have to say a bracha, right, which means a blessing over my food or after my food. I don't have to say it yet, right? Because I'm not Jewish, right? I can do it the next time, where I can kind of let this slide. So it's easy to fall in that place. So somebody actually told me that I need to look at it like this. When it comes to a young Jewish boy, so he's growing up and he's learning all of the blessings to say before and after foods. He's learning how to pray, and he's learning all these different things. Well, he's learning those things for his bar mitzvah, right? Bar mitzvah means son of the commandment, the daughter of the commandments, and they are now obligated to do these things. And so I'm like, we're the same.
Yeah.
You don't see, that Jewish boy doesn't wait until his bar mitzvah to start learning all the blessings. He learns when he's little. And so it's the same thing, right? Someone who is converting doesn't just learn how to do all the blessings and keep all of the commandments the day that he goes into the mikveh. He starts just like that young Jewish kid, getting ready and prepping for his bar mitzvah. So it's the same thing. So that gave me a lot of peace and comfort around my whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So another, big challenge that you can face on this journey is family, right? Your family not accepting this journey and the changes that are going to be happening with this, because it's obviously you're changing your entire lifestyle. Everything changes, and even for us, we're going to speak about just our family, our situation. We have family in a different state. We haven't seen family in years. And they haven't really got to, or we haven't got to experience what it's going to really be like when we are, fully converted and Jewish. So even just now, the fact that things are already changing for us. For example, of me, hugging the opposite sex, like me hugging a guy, like that can't happen, right? And that might be something that your family or you were used to, was just always hugging, right? Or touching. And then also too, I know for a lot of the African American cultures, our big thing is like cookouts and family food gatherings, and you gotta eat, right? And that's gonna be something that's gonna have to change in our family. And my family, they're big about restaurants and going out to eat. I mean, that's a celebration of something that we did actually every single, family member's birthday. We would get together, go to a restaurant, right? Yep. And so that's gonna change. And Jill, you have to be okay with the changes that are gonna happen like that. And I know that one is a very sensitive topic, because it is tough for some people. But this is what comes with this lifestyle and this change, and we've accepted it wholeheartedly. And there's just going to be different things that you're going to have to really come from a loving place and explaining to your family, why you do what you do. Why do I have to do these things? Why am I doing these things? Because you can't get upset at a family member who just does not understand why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so we don't know what that's going to be like yet. And right now, I mean, the majority of both of our families, they've been totally cool with the direction that we've gone down, and they've been supportive and happy, been loving, but we still haven't done the in-person thing yet. Like, we don't know what the vibe is going to be like. We don't know what the environment, we don't know. So that's still something that, it's just up in the air. It's that big mystery for us. And so we're definitely excited to go see our family. And for those family members who are watching, we can't wait to go see you, right? But hear our hearts, right? It's gonna be different. She mentioned going out to, dinners, and going to my grandma's house for the dinners, and I can't eat the food, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, those are the things.
And those are tough because they don't understand why you can't eat their food.
Exactly.
That's the challenge.
Exactly. Right. Because again, for those who don't even know, right. My grandparents and my family members, they don't eat kosher food, right? And so being a Jew, becoming Jewish, we've taken it upon ourselves. I mean, technically we can eat non-kosher food. We're not Jewish yet, but we haven't eaten non-Jewish food in like a long time, 2 years, right? So we're not going back to non-Jewish food, right? So we're going to continue to eat kosher food. And so that is the challenge there with family members.
But it's beyond just not eating the kosher food. I mean, it's kosher items. Kosher is basically when your kitchen goes through this process of like, your utensils, your pots and pans being cleaned in a way that is certified for you to be able to eat it as a Jewish person.
Exactly.
Right? And I mean, that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's a lot more to that.
The simple version.
But I guess that's a simpler version of that. And so we wouldn't be able to, I can't just go to my mom's house and say, hey, can you just kind of whip up this chicken for me? It is kosher chicken, but then she might not have kosher utensils and like kosher, dishes and spoons and utensils and things like that. So that's why, it wouldn't be qualified for me to be able to eat at her house. But the beauty is that, once you educate your family, you can tell them, okay, and accept it, and then they will start going to maybe a kosher restaurant with you, right? And they will start eating some kosher food when you're in town or that. So it's just, I mean, that might not be the case for every person, but I think that if you educate your family with love and there's an understanding there, it doesn't have to be this negative thing, but it is going to be a lot different for your life than what it was before.
Yeah. Now there's ways around certain things, like we've learned from our rabbi. We can buy kosher food, and we could wrap it a certain way, and we could, we can cook some things there in a particular way. This video isn't for that, but there's ways around it so that we can, kind of still make certain things happen. Yes, right. So with that being said, we can't wait to see our family, but we're also nervous about it, if we can be 100% honest. And it's not a thing of whether they're going to look at us weird or anything like that, but it's just because it's new. Our family, listen, my parents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, right? Same for her. They've known us our whole life as a certain way, and we're not that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that makes us a little bit nervous. Not again, not that if they'll accept us, they love us, right? Our family loves us, but I think it's something within us of knowing, like, man, we're not the same anymore. Like, we're not the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
absolutely. So also, to kind of add to that, you might have the challenge of vacations with your family members who are not Jewish, right? Who did not go through a conversion process, right? Family members, parents. And so that's something that I might, have to kind of talk about with my family as well too, because I have siblings. They're talking about vacations. My family loves to travel. And that's something that I am going to have to bring up, because I can't just go to whatever destination that they're going. I have to make sure there's certain things that are in place in order for me to be able to, go to this place, right? Like, I can't just go on any cruise. No, there is kosher cruises now, which is awesome. They have kosher foods and all of that. So, that could be something I could bring them. Like, we can go on that cruise, because that's the beauty, is that they can eat kosher, right?
Right.
So that's just that might be another challenge as well too, is when it comes to vacations, you have to just be mindful of where you're going, and I guess, does it make sense for your lifestyle now? And will your family understand that?
So before we wrap it up, we got one more that we think is a pretty heavy one, and some people may be in a very similar situation. Some people that are going to start their journey eventually at some point, you might be in this situation, but who knows? This is where we are. But when it comes to our children in school, our daughter specifically, she's in a Hebrew day school. She's in the 9th grade right now, and she is the only African American student there. And when we really realized it, it was like, whoa, it's kind of like crazy. It's very heavy to swallow, and we look at our daughter now and how she handles herself and how she's developed, and to see her form into her own personal identity has been so inspiring. It's been absolutely amazing. And I remember when she first started there, and she did have challenges because she didn't really see anybody. Right, when she first went there were a couple, but now they're gone. She's the only one. And at first she was a little thrown off by it because she didn't see anybody else that really looked like her. But now it's so inspiring, and I have to give you so much props, because you're doing a phenomenal job with, number one, being the example of what it looks like to be a strong, confident woman, to show our daughter what it looks like to be comfortable in their own skin, to be thankful, to be, I can go on and on and on, and you do it with so much grace, and I love you, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have my incredible wife, because my heart goes out to all of the single parents, right? Especially like single dads, right? Single dads that have to raise girls, right? Because we don't know how to be girls, and so it makes me so grateful that I don't have to do this on my own. I don't know how I would, right? So shout out to all the single parents, right? But the fact you do it, and when we have 4 girls, and I have 0 to ever worry about when it comes to who my girls are going to look up to. They're going to look up to their incredible, beautiful mother. And so thank you for being that role model, that example, and for all of the lessons that you teach our girls and how you're equipping them. It's incredible because the Jewish home belongs to you. And you are you are in that lane, and you make sure that our home is solid. So thank you.
Wow, thank you, babe. I almost cried when you said that. So thank you. That means a whole lot. And honestly, I'm so proud. I mean, he's giving me the credit for it, but I am very just proud of our daughter because she is forming into her own identity, and she's, becoming so confident in the skin that she's in.
Yep.
And embracing it. And I think it's so beautiful. And, it's interesting to hear her conversations with some of her friends too. And I, shout out to her class as well. And just all of the girls, the high school girls who just love on my daughter so much and have so much respect for her, and the love that has been given to her from day one. I mean, that's never been a thing, even though, yes, she's the only African-American woman. She's the only African-American, person there, but it's okay. It's okay because she's treated with, so much respect and love. And it's interesting, sometimes she'll bring some of her lunch to school, and her friends are like, what is that? And she's like, you've never heard of gumbo? So she's educating them on, a little bit of Southern African American kind of dishes and, things that I make. And I think it's cool. It's beautiful to bring some diversity, I think. And that's how it should be. It should be diverse. And I think that my daughter, if anything, she's bringing, even though she might be the only one, she's bringing so much light to that school of them seeing what it looks like of a different, background, different culture a little bit. And it's just awesome. It's awesome to see that. It really is.
Yeah. So it's not easy. It's not easy having to have that as your situation, and so we pray hard every day that God give us the strength as parents to be able to lead our children down the right path. We try our best every day to equip them emotionally, equip them with the Jewish values that we're learning now, and it's a daily journey for us, and we're learning every day. We're not perfect parents at all, but we love parenting. We are so thankful to God that He trusted us to raise these 5 beautiful children, soon to be 6. He trusted us to parent them through this journey called life, and it's one of the greatest honors to be able to raise children, and so we're happy.
And if I could just add too, just a little bit about, yes, from the outside, our kids do look African American, but they do have, backgrounds of different diversity in their own family as well too. And so I think I'm so thankful for that, because it does make our children, they've never really looked at color as a thing anyways. Their grandmother, who they call Mimi, my mom, she is Ukrainian and Irish French, right? So, they understand, they're very much mixed with different backgrounds as well too. And same thing on my husband's side as well too. He has mixed races as well too. So they've been used to just different types of race and color, and it's never been a thing for them. So I'm grateful for that, but I know that might not always be the case for, other people from the outside looking in, of them going, oh, in our eyes, she looks African American, right? But she is definitely mixed with lots of different things.
So we appreciate you guys. We know this is another lengthy video, but we definitely wanted to put the part 2 down. And I told you we were going to get a little bit deep on this one.
Yeah.
We've
almost cried.
Yeah. These are some things that I don't think we've touched really in any of our other videos, but we think that it's something that that we would have liked to hear when we were going through the process, to be able to hear from other couples, about some of the possible roadblocks or challenges that they would have. And so we really hope that this helped maybe a few of you guys. So thank you for watching. If you are still here, just like we did on the last one, just drop a little note in our comments area and let us know. Type in "I'm still here," and that way we know that you stayed to the end.
And we appreciate it, guys, and thank you for all of your beautiful comments. Like, yes. Again, we read all of your comments. We might not respond to every single one, but thank you, because we saw a lot of the part 1 messages that you guys had sent, and we're just so grateful. So thank you for sticking around till the very end. We appreciate that. And so if you guys like this video, remember to like it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you want to see even more of our content, you'll be able to see a lot more of our videos pop up once you subscribe. And we have a membership community. Big shout out to Team Elevate. We love you guys. And so this is a community that we are building, and it's beautiful. It is okay, but you got to be on the inside to know. Like, so we have a WhatsApp group now. We're talking about different things, and so we posted quite a few things in there, some updates of new projects that nobody else know about, right? But new projects that we have going on, up and coming things. We talk about all types of stuff. It's more personal. It's more personal. We do live Q&As. We do. We're gonna have exclusive content. It's just a community. Team Elevate. If you want to get in, if you want to get down, we will put the link down below. Check it out. Subscribe to that community, and you don't have to, right? It's just if you want a little bit extra, check it out. Okay. Thank you guys. We love you so much. And stay tuned for the next video. And that's it.